The Silent Hill movie was my introduction to the franchise. Before I played any of the games, I saw the movie one Halloween at a sleepover and became obsessed with the story. Yet, despite the fact that this really is a decent film, it doesn't seem to receive that much respect for what it does right, which is more than you would think. If you ask fans, the movie diverts too much from the original story, creating a blander universe about a witch burning cult. But if you ask critics, they thought the story was too confusing and strange. And if they think that was strange, imagine what they'd think if they'd been truer to Silent Hill 1. The truth is, the first game in the series does not have a well written story. It's a good story, but it's not well written. It meanders in places and involves too much detail. It goes all over the place, and even the team behind the game have made statements implying that storytelling wasn't the focus of the first game. It was a masterpiece of gameplay and a beautiful, haunting world to explore, but with story beats that included drug trafficking and cults, gyromancy, and throwing bottles at people's faces, it all just doesn't mesh well. There are powerful moments, but it isn't a very coherent story. What the Silent Hill movie does is take the themes of the game, the feelings behind the story, and adapt them to a new universe. It's still a story about familial abuse, the dangers of cults, the horrors of bullying, and the loss of a family member. But it is adapted to an easier to understand story, which still was apparently too complicated for most movie critics. They're lucky they don't have to review games, I guess. The Silent Hill film was always going to be stuck. They needed to have enough of the original material to appeal to fans while also appealing to a general audience, and they dance a fine line of being nostalgic and creating their own coherent universe. The real weakness in the film is the divided storyline between Rose, our protagonist, and her husband, Sean Bean, and it turns out this entire plotline was forced into the film by the studio, because apparently a movie that had no men in it was just bad. Okay, we can have stories with nearly no women all the time, but that's cool. Okay. We also have the issue of Rose, and my feelings here are a little convoluted. I loved her growing up. She is a powerful and inspirational female character, but now as an adult, having played Silent Hill 1, it really sucks to see this story omit Harry, because the reasoning behind it was that the director thought only a mother could play this kind of role. Excuse me, I have a little tickle in my throat. Bullshit! Imagine if this film had completely omitted the real-world story beats and had focused on being in Silent Hill, giving more time for coherent story development. Imagine if Harry had been the main character, returning the story to the themes of loving adoptive fatherhood versus abusive blood-related motherhood, showing us what it really means to be a parent. This would have been a great film. Even without it, it is still a great film. Probably the only truly good video game adaptation. Just look at this list of mostly garbage films. The first Resident Evil just tosses out the entirety of Resident Evil 1 into a trash can. And the only good thing to come out of the Doom movie was all the crossover fanfics with Star Trek where Leonard McCoy was actually like John Grimm but in space. Honestly, it's the only film on this list that I watch and routinely enjoy. Video game adaptations are difficult. They have the problem of a book adaptation, where there's too much material for a 2-hour film, and they have the problem of moving from an interactive medium to a passive one. There's so much to change and adapt, especially because, until recently, story wasn't always a major focus of games. Technical limitations and such made gameplay and design far more important. So a lot of these movies are trying to make a film out of something that is written like a team of drunks writing ideas together by throwing darts at a board, while also dealing with the change in medium and length of material. This is the only film to have any kind of success at doing it thus far. It's true to the game as much as it can be. And the film is gorgeous, with monsters that aren't made from CGI, which is so rare nowadays, and they feel as visceral as the game. It's a good film, and it could have been better, but it deserves respect for how good it manages to be. A note to leave you on: here's an interesting quote from Takayoshi Sato, who was involved with the art development of Silent Hill 1 and 2. Thanks for watching!